Bush. Listen, all of those Bush, do you miss me now? I really don't. I really do not miss George W. Bush. Resent America the way Obama. Yes, he did. And I think, if our allegiance is to say is a reaction to how bad Bush was. Bush had opportunities to reform the. Bush had opportunities to make those. Here's what the terrorists have. They've learned that our own, we will have to pay the price they did. When Homeland Security says we need to keep an eye on Americans because Americans might be homegrown extremists, no. You know what? They attacked us. They paid the price. And I said it. I said, you think the war on drugs? Wait till you see what terror brings. And damn, it's even worse than I expected. With the support of the GOP Congress, by the way. It has the support of the GOP Congress. Here's how the Obama administration treats the Constitution. Have you ever been to a football game, like a high school football game, where they have that gigantic, and you got the cheerleaders on both sides holding them, stretching that paper out? You hear the music, man, and you know the football team's going to come flying through there pretty soon, and you hear the rumble start, and here they come, the pad, and then boom, and the team runs through there. That's the Constitution. Here comes the administration. What? Who's running right alongside him? John Boehner. They think it's parchment. That doesn't apply to today's. Look, can I tell you another thing? If you believe that government, every time there's a problem, and what did my friend that government is, that is another hallmark of America. Because, exactly right. Poverty. Because anytime it subsidizes something, when the government got involved in what? The war on obesity? Yeah. Let's go to Walmart, look around. Now this is, I'm not saying that to be rude. I'm really not. As a matter of fact, befriend the people at Walmart and say, listen, man, you're the most important person in America. This is a weighty constituency. This is fat people. I'm sorry, rotund people. Forgive me. They're going to sing big folks because why? Because anytime somebody says, you cost us, what's the answer? Somebody give me the answer. I know you know the answer. When a politician says smokers cost society money, or when politicians say fat people cost society money, what's the answer? The answer is no. You cost society money. You cost society money. As a matter of fact, you've cost society $18 trillion plus. You can actually count how much you cost society money. Never, ever, ever let a politician say that this American or that American, I don't care what box they put you in, cost society money. No, damn it, you cost society money. You cost $18 trillion. Don't say, fellow American. This is when we'll be a better America too, by the way. When smokers are fellow Americans, right? When people that do things that we don't, when strippers are our fellow Americans, and I push for that, by the way. I think we ought to really, is when we say, look, I'm not what you're doing, but I support your right to do it. And that's what the blue shirts in Panama City Beach, that's what Pittman's group, his holier than holy molies, vain. They're the least godly people I know. Would you agree with that? And I can say Wes Pittman and nobody else in the media can, because Wes Pittman doesn't have commercials running on our network. And did have commercials running on our network, and he called me up and said, hey, listen, is this North Korea? I'd say, no, it's the Burnie. He'd say, that's what I mean, because he compared us to North Korea, Syria, and Iran. But if he called up and said, I'll pull commercials if you don't us, I would say, you do what you have to do. But when you bought commercials here, you knew news outlet, this was a commentary outlet that tells the truth. And do you think WMBB will do that? Do you think WJHG will do that? Do you think that the news will do that? Do you think Talk Radio 101 will do that? I can answer that. Hell no. Why? Because they've hoarded themselves out. They've hoarded themselves out. I have so much more respect for outlets that whore themselves out to the likes of. I do. I do. I have so much more respect for strippers than I have more respect for prostitutes than for news outlets that will not tell the truth because they're afraid of losing the advertising dollars. And I'll tell you more. This is the point. This is the point in America where this happened. See, in the old days, right? One of the city councilmen, who I'll see tomorrow, by the way, called us old news. Old news, right? Let me tell you about old news, though. News in the old days, they derived most of their money and revenue from subscribers. And so here's a lesson in life, and it's true all the time. Who are we accountable to? Usually, we're accountable to those to whom we earn our money. That's why government schools suck so bad, because their money is coming from the government. Therefore, they do what the government says. Now, the government took it from us, but since it's not coming directly from us, they're doing what the government says, not what we say. So they do what those who give them money tell them to do, right? That's a very important. That is why we have to stop the government from taking it from us and then giving it to whom we should be giving it to in the first place, because then they'll be accountable to us. So Keith Curry said we're old news. But let me tell you something about old news. Old news, they were accountable to their subscribers. Now, today, they're accountable to their advertisers. That is the point at which news became a problem. When news stopped reporting the actual news. That is when the American press started committing journalistic malpractice on a regular basis. And you can tell exactly why. Do you agree with the Wes Pittman thing? That's why I can say, watch this. Wes Pittman and his move to ban all the things, faux godliness, and his using God's name in vain, and his parading around of a rape victim's body, if she even was a rape victim, all for his own political gain, to blanket this place in surveillance cameras. Wes Pittman sucks. I can say that because I'm not afraid of Wes Pittman. And I would say it if he advertised or if he didn't advertise. But see, I'm not accountable to Wes Pittman. I'm accountable to you. I'm accountable to the grassroots. I'm accountable to small businesses. And it's like a mutual fund. If you have a lot of sources of income, then you don't care what one or two people say. If they say, we're going to pull the rug out from under you if you don't shut up. But everybody else is more afraid of getting fired or more afraid of losing revenue than doing what God put them here to do. They're more afraid of losing their jobs. And all of these people, and you hear them all the time, here's how you can distinguish between, and tell me if I'm right or wrong, here's how you can distinguish between somebody who really means it and somebody you hope means it. You hear people say, I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. And then you see a lot of people living on their knees because they're not allowed to criticize Wes Pittman. And if you're not allowed to criticize Wes Pittman, you are that much enslaved. You're compromising your values. Am I right or wrong? That is why this is the only place, unfortunately, and it's unfortunate, that you can come and get the truth, because they can fight. They can threaten to pull advertisers. They can threaten to sue. They can do whatever they want. But as long as enough of us link arms, then they are going to lose. Phone number, if you want to join me, is 850-252-8260, 850-252-8260. Do you know yesterday when Wayne Dupree joined the show, and I got so excited, and today, again, I see my new friend Elisha Cruz. If you don't follow the Black Courage, if you don't follow Elisha Cruz, we call him EC, and he's part of there he is. He is part of Wayne Dupree's Conservative Brotherhood, which I have said, "Hey guys, could I play on the team?" and they've been very receptive, because we're all linking arms, trying to do the same thing, and that is to advance liberty. But there are more. I just saw somebody join in that I haven't seen for a long time, and I want to say hi to Tom Shakely. Tom Shakely and I knew each other at Penn State, and Tom Shakely, I courted and I wooed for years to be the producer, to be a partner of this show. But Tom has been off doing his own thing, and very successfully. But Tom, I see you, and I want to say thank you so much for being here. I've been trying to get your attention on Twitter and on Periscope for a long time. Tom Shakely is with us, and I appreciate it very much. All right, I want to get back to a few of these issues. One of them, let me see. I'm trying to find out if we're going to get the Mises Institute today, because I really want to get them to talk a little bit about the Obama trade, because nobody really knows what the hell it's about. And that is another hallmark. If we were to list the top 5 hallmarks of America, I think this may not make the top 5, but it certainly would make the top 10. And here's what it is. It is, if you want to know what's in the bill, if you want to know what's in the treaty, you'll find out after it's passed. That is a hallmark of the new America. And we're going to go to the phones now. And let's begin right here. Welcome to the Burnie Thompson Show. Who are we speaking with?
Hey, it's Daryl. We're 2009 Super Glide.
Hey, Daryl, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing peachy. I just got out of class probably about 5 minutes ago.
Well, I appreciate it. It's great to hear from you. I know you from Twitter.
Yeah, and first thing I'd like to do is give a shout out to Sean Hannity's hair.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A real Twitter sensation. If you're not following at S Hannity's hair, you are missing. Daryl.
Oh well, the hair rocks. I first started my Twitter account when I was deployed to Afghanistan in 2012, and I wound up finding the hair on Twitter, and the hair was saying things that I wanted to say that I could not say while I was in uniform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he has a way about it, doesn't he? He's so good. What makes S, and again, this is on Twitter, at S Hannity's. If you're not following hair, you're missing out. What he does is he has a great way of seeing things and saying things in a succinct way that maybe we didn't come up with, but he also has a great sense of humor, and that's what makes him so entertaining.
And he's probably the best subtweeter on Twitter.
Yep, I'm with you on that one. Absolutely. Daryl, thanks so much, and thanks for your service.
Oh, and thank you, too. And by the way, the Air Force has the best hotels.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right. Listen, phone number is 850-252-8260, 850-252-8260. So much going on in the news. Playing with lives. Critics rip White House terror ransom plan. You do understand another hallmark. If we talk about hallmarks of America, right? Hallmarks of America. Another hallmark is that we negotiate with terrorists now. All right, let's see who we've got now. Hey, welcome to the Burnie Thompson Show. Who are we speaking with?
Yeah, it's Daryl. I guess we got cut off. So.
Oh, Daryl, I'm sorry, man. I'll let you go.
Oh, okay.
Listen, I appreciate it. Call back anytime.
Okay. All right. Take it easy, Burnie.
All right. Thank you very much. Golly, I'm looking at so many stories. How about Common Core? Hardcore call. School looked to punish anti-Common Core kids. A teacher group leads a protest outside Common Core Link Publishers Conference. Listen, I don't care what Jeb Bush says about it, is starting to affect people in ways that are going to be unacceptable. Do you know when, by the way, this is a huge deal, when families, when moms, single moms even, can't really deal with their kids' homework because Common Core brings in a whole new element where what used to be equations are now sentences, where it is so painful to do math. What should take 5 minutes takes a half hour. When we should already have dinner done, it's outrageous, and it causes so much pain and anguish in the family home. It's not just an abstract political debate. It's not. It's a debate about our quality of life. It's really almost. I consider it almost a taking of our time. And do you notice how much the government does take of our time? Listen, we have become okay. I'm trying to come up with. I need to get organized here. Hallmarks of America. One of them is we have to learn a hell of a lot of new words, right? We have to learn words like CRs, dreamers. There's all kinds of words that we have to lose. Number two, we have dreamers, right? Dreamers have been lifted above citizens. So I would say one of the hallmarks in America is a war on citizenship. Would you agree with that? There is a war on citizenship. And I don't think we talk about citizenship enough. What does it mean to be a citizen? This is huge. What does it mean to be a citizen? Well, let's start the story at the beginning. Number one, to be a citizen, you need a what? You need a country, okay? And to have a country, you need what? Borders. And to have borders, you need what? The rule of law. These are three things you must have in order to have citizenship. Now, what is citizenship about? Hillary considers dreamer citizens. Do you know that 52% of Democrats, according to a 52% of Democrats now believe that illegal aliens should be able to vote, only they don't call them illegal aliens, they call them dreamers. Okay? Now, that's insane. Do you know that to become a citizen, on the citizenship test itself, to become a citizen, there are two things in America you must be an American to do. You must be an American to serve on jury duty, and you must be an American to vote. You must be. Even brand new citizens know that, but Democrats evidently don't. Democrats don't care about the Constitution, the rule of law. Democrats don't care if we're overrun by illegal aliens so long as they're called dreamers. Democrats don't care if they lose the benefits of their internet service, of a free internet, as long as Republicans are upset. Democrat women don't care if they lose a breast, as long as Republicans are upset that Obamacare says you have to get your test done at 50 instead of 40. You got to admit, those are pretty loyal women. I mean, even the Obama dumped them. But these Democrat women, I'm telling you, let me ask you this question. What will a Democrat not give up in order to support Obamacare? I mean, you think about this. What will they not give up? I can't think of a damn thing. But back to the hallmarks of of Omerica, White House spying. Democrats used to hate White House spying. In 1974, when Tricky Dick got caught, remember Richard Nixon got caught White House spying? Democrats went apoplectic, and rightfully so. And you fast forward into the 2000s, you had Dick Cheney. You remember Dick Cheney? He wanted to find out what library books you were checking out because you might be a terrorist. Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Democrats think Obama is crazy. They didn't like Dick Cheney. They didn't like Tricky Dick, but they loved Dick Tracy. And my thing is, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. If you're in the White House, don't be a dick. Am I right or wrong? Do not be a dick in the White House. Now, stop it. A dick is like a private. If you were to read like the old magazines the old books, not the magazines, the books, like the pulp fiction books, like the hard-boiled fiction, that you'd be considered a private dick. Like Bogart, you got the fedora, and you'd be sneaking around and sleuthing around. Like in Chinatown, he was a dick. He was a private dick. And all I'm saying is, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat, do not be a dick in the White House. Leave us alone. It's quintessentially American to have the right to be left alone unless there is probable cause, unless there is a warrant, unless a judge signs off on it, and unless they list the particularities, that is to say, the place and the things and the persons to be searched and seized. If you don't have all those elements, you don't have probable cause, or you don't have the right to search us. And Democrats who pretended to be civil libertarians, they were lying to us. I used to stand with Democrat friends, and now they're gone. They're gone. This dick in the White House spying on us. And if you do that again, I told you what that means. Just don't be a dick in the White House is the lesson there. So what are some of the other hallmarks? That's right. Oh, boy, that's right. And we'll address that tomorrow. All right. So White House, the IRS being used as attack dogs. That's another hallmark of Omerica, right? These are things we deal with now that we never dealt with before. Number 5, having medical insurance or doctors, let's just say, having doctors ripped apart from us and having the IRS. Did you ever think about this 10 years ago? Would it ever have occurred to you that the IRS would be the police, basically, the healthcare police? I mean, would you have even ever put those two things together? That the White House would, IRS would be the health. Nobody would have put that together. It is, and and everybody knows that. Democrats know that. Democrats know that the IRS. I'm going to tell you something right now that you've never heard before because I made it up. Okay, and I used to pace the house. I used to lay down and stare at the walls and the ceiling, and I couldn't sleep until I figured this out. Why did Democrats hate Homeland Security under Dick Cheney and George Bush, but they love it under Obama? Think about it. I've got the answer. Are you ready for this? Democrats did the Patriot Act and Homeland Security under Bush because they thought Bush was going to use it against foreign terrorists in America. Even more than that, Daryl. Now think this through with me. It is power, but listen, they thought Bush was going to use it against foreign terrorists in America. And liberals didn't want to spy on foreign terrorists in America. They didn't want to apprehend foreign terrorists in America. They wanted to give them the finest attorneys. When Democrats realized that Obama might use the Patriot Act to spy on the real enemies of America, Republicans, then they supported it. That is the key. And that is part of how I discovered that Democrats hate Republicans more than they love America. Here's how else I figured this formulation out. You know, the Palestinians and the Israelis. Some people call it the peace process, which is pretty crazy. Talk about doublespeak. Has that been a peace process? Now, the problem with that situation is too many people can't distinguish between the arsonist and the firefighter, between the arsonist and the firefighter. Now listen, when will there be peace between the Israelis and the Palestinians? And I didn't make this up. I've heard this said before. It'll be when the Palestinians put their children when they love their children more than they hate the Israelis. Do you agree with that? When the Palestinians love their children more than they hate, there will be peace in that area. It is the same thing with Democrats and Republicans. When Democrats learn to love America more than they hate Republicans, then things will be better. And Republicans are bad enough. Listen, I've got my own problems with Republicans. But the Democrats have a hatred toward Republicans that exceeds everything. They hate Republicans more than they love America. They hate Republicans more than they love anything. These are not your Tip O'Neill Democrats. These are not your JFK Democrats. And that is, and by the way, Boehner and McConnell are also not your typical Republicans. Because listen, do you think Jeb Bush and Hillary Clinton are diametrically opposed? Do you think, if you're a Republican, do you think you have more in common with Jeb Bush than Jeb Bush has in common with Hillary Clinton? It is no longer Republican Democrat. It is insiders versus outsiders. And you and I are on the outside. And the sooner we get enough of us to see that, the sooner we can start fixing this problem. It is no longer Republicans versus Democrats. It is insiders versus outsiders. But they, the insiders, are using this old paradigm to divide and to divert us, just like what's happening here in Panama City Beach. They are, I do not believe that the leaders of the blue shirts and the leaders of the white shirts are really opposed to each other. Not the leaders. The people, the rubes, as circus acts call the people in the blue shirts and the people in the white shirts, they're the rubes. And you know what I was saying to you? We ought to walk in tomorrow with numbers that exceed the blue shirts and the white shirts because they got their vote. The numbers will be fewer tomorrow. There won't be as many blue shirts. Wes Pittman got his way. He got John Riekert and Wick Wussel. He got them to vote the way he told them to vote. But what if we walked in with 50 of us? And I started thinking, we don't have time to make shirts. And besides that, I'm not big on following. What if we walked in with red Solo cups? What if 50 of us walked in with red Solo cups? Right? Why not? Let's do it. Colleen, and she'll be on the ballot. And that's how they can distinguish us, and we can even paint little American flags on the red Solo cups. What do you think about that? We ought to walk in there with red Solo cups, with American flags on the red Solo cups, and that's how you distinguish the Americans from the damn blue shirts and the white shirts who are worried about themselves more than they're worried about America. God, this would be beautiful. I want to do it. I think I'm walking in with a Solo cup tomorrow. With me? Could we get 50 people? If we can't get 50 people, if we can't mobilize 50 people tomorrow to walk in and do this with red Solo cups with American flags on them, oh God, this would be beautiful. What if we dwarf their numbers? What if we convinced Wick Wussel, and I stole that from Sean Hannity's hair. See, Rick Russell is the vice mayor and a heck of a nice guy. And he really wants to be the mayor, but he doesn't think that the timing's right because he thinks that more citizens, are opposed to freedom and liberty. He believes that Wes Pittman's holier than holy moly's, that his syndicate of sanctimoniousness represents the majority of the people. Oh, no, they don't. Oh, no, they don't. Will you email me? I want to get like an RSVP of Solo cups. I'm going to, I swear to God I'm doing this. I'm going to get American flag stickers and Solo cups. Will you come with an American flag sticker on your Solo cup? And that's how they can identify us. You can take your white shirts and your blue shirts, and you can do what the leaders of the white shirts and blue shirts tell you to do. But I'm telling you, you're being played by the cronies on the top. And you're never going to convince me that William Harrison, where can I buy a red Solo cup? Listen, I'm going to go. I can't wait till the show's over now, because now I have something to do, right? Actually, I have a lot. I'll go get a red Solo cup and American flags. And I'm walking in with a red Solo cup and an American flag. And that's my way of protesting. And let me tell you something. The first time I hear anybody say that you can't bring a red Solo cup in here, I'm going to say, let's read the First Amendment to the Constitution together. It says that we have the right to petition our government for a redress of grievances. Now, I know that it says Congress shall make no law, but I think that it's to say that it's okay for a local government to stop us from redressing our government, petitioning our government, rather, for a redress of grievances in any peaceful way we choose. I am so friggin' tired of being told what's the proper way to protest. When a government, this is something to think about. When a government tells people these are the ways you are allowed to protest, are you really even protesting? If we don't get the rule of law back from the law of rulers, if we don't fix that one problem, you and I are going to live under this, and our children are going to live under this. We walk